My name is Danniel Campbell. I've been sort of almost all over the United States. I was born in California. My folks moved out there, and I grew up in Georgia for a little bit. And then me and my mom moved to Brockton in 1998.
Well, first off, I want to say thank you for allowing us to display your artwork here at BCA. Can you give us a little bit of insight and your inspiration on the artwork?
Well, first of all, I'm humbled that you guys provide this program and you highlight us authors around here. Artists and authors around here. It's many things. I'd have to say, well, primarily it's the Lord. My artwork and my writings is meant to share and preach the gospel. I also grew up watching tons of anime. I love the Lord of the Rings, a lot of fantasy stuff. So, if you look at the eyes, you can kind of see some sense of anime in there, especially with this character here, one of my favorites, Diet Coke. Yes, I would say anime because I really have an illustration background. Some of the stuff, like some of the portraits and things that I've drawn, some of my inspiration is to try to draw very challenging things.
Yes.
When I was trying to get back, because I left artwork alone for a little while, so when I was trying to get back into it, some of my friends I follow on Instagram, and one of them, she had a dog, a German Shepherd. I was like, I've never really drawn an animal, before, so I was like, man, let me see if I can get like all these nicks and details in there. I would have to say my inspiration is, Jesus, just trying to preach him, share the gospel. A lot of cartoons and stuff I grew up, watching, and just some things that are challenging.
How would you best describe your artwork?
Well, I'd say, especially if you look at the illustrations, it's sort of with the portraits I do of my characters, because all these characters they're from stories that I've written. Okay, some of the stories are completed, some of the stories they're published, but I grew up drawing anime. When I was a kid, I just drew whatever. But when I was in high school, that's just what I wanted to draw: Dragon Ball Z, all that type of stuff. But when I got older, I was like, yes, anime is good, but I don't like the huge eyes all the time and the thin mouth and stuff. So I added some Western, techniques to it. So if you look at, sort of like some of the eyes. I think in a lot of Western drawings you will see eyebrows.
Right.
These two characters right here, they don't have them. But it's like the lips, the hair and stuff like that. Usually in a lot of anime and stuff, it's very 2D-ish. But I wanted to put more shading and more details, into it just to pop it out. So that's what I would say. It's like my stuff as far as illustration goes is a combination of anime and Western.
Perfect. So you're an author as well. How would you say your artwork and your writing coincides?
So like I was saying before, these characters, all these people. Originally, what I was going to do was I was going to draw a portrait of every character of every book that I finished.
Okay.
And then after a while, I just got impatient, so that didn't work because this dude's work is not done yet. But yes, so a lot of these stories I had in mind. I just, it's for me the portrait's very important, because to me their face, it really embodies the story, what it's meant to be about. My character Tomahawk, the story, it's the main character. She's a very strong, powerful, black female protagonist, and you look in comic books and some movies, yes, you do have strong female protagonists, but I wanted a dark, powerful, strong female protagonist. If you read the book, she's like 6'2", she could deadlift 400 pounds. She's got these clear eyes, this dark skin. So I wanted someone that was beautiful, strikingly beautiful, but just intimidating and powerful. And I was like, I just wanted to have like her face on the cover, you know, and the person who designed the cover, because the story, it's like the background that it takes place, it's almost like North America and Australia combined together, and Africa.
Yeah.
You know, so I just wanted all of that blended into there. So the faces to me, like, you know, when people pick up the book, I almost want the eyes, you know, especially for me, the eyes are very important. Like my character Jessica, you know, these two, they're basically two trained warriors. But Jessica's not a trained warrior. You read her story, she's no joke. You know, she's feisty, she's intense, you know. So that's how like, you know, these illustrations, they coincide with the books. You know, the portrait to me, the face is just so important about the story. It's very telling for the story. If I explain myself at all.
No, that was definitely well explained. I think that the artwork, how you were saying, everything you were trying to embody in this character, I feel like was definitely showed through on the cover.
Well,
so you did an amazing job.
Well, thank you.
Of course, yeah. So I know that you said that you lived in many different places, but how would you say that your artwork is inspired living in Brockton?
Well, I'd have to say, well, Lord, correct me if I'm going on the wrong direction, but I'll start with Jessica.
Okay.
The story about Jessica deals a lot with immigration. I worked in Brockton Hospital for 17 years. 11 of those years was full-time, and there were some jobs where you get to work with the nurses. So you just get to see firsthand a lot of stuff that goes on. And, you know, one job I had in particular, I was a sitter. Politically correct term, I was a sitter, or patient observation assistant. So sometimes you get to talk with people, they're going through stuff. You know, they have mental illness. Some of them, they're like, hey, you know, I'm going through a lot. I need to take a break.
Right.
So they wait in the hospital, you know, to get seen and to get help. Some people, they got arrested on the street. They just couldn't take it. They had a psychotic breakdown. And, you know, sometimes I got to, you know, tell them, you know, like how Christ has helped me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I myself, you know, I've struggled with depression. And because, you know, God pushed me to have the courage, you know, to tell my pastor, I need help.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, things just aren't working out. I was able to get like the tools and stuff that I needed. So Jessica, she's a nurse,
Yeah.
you know, and the story was kind of meant to, highlight what nurses go through. A little bit, you know, it's sort of a tribute to them, but it's also meant to talk about mental illness. The character herself, she has some trauma that she deals with. As you read the story, you see it kind of comes up, you know, in pieces. But the story is meant to say that whatever trauma you go through, some of it's not your fault. But how you respond to it, that's your responsibility. And that's one of the ultimate things that Jessica talks about. So being in Brockton and seeing, you know, just a lot of people in Brockton, including myself, struggle with mental illness, that was one of the ways that it inspired it. And also, you know, probably living in Brockton, this helped too. For me, I like diversity, you know. None of my characters are the same ethnicity. She's black,
Right.
she's white, she's Hispanic, he's Middle Eastern, she's also Middle Eastern, and she's Asian. And Indians also, besides Hindu, they also call themselves Asian too.
Right.
So I like diversity. Brockton is one of the most diverse places that you can visit. You have Haitians who live here, Cape Verdeans, you have Asians, you have people who are Eastern European. It's a melting pot. So I guess you could say in a way it comes out of my artwork. You know, I like showing different cultures and stuff, you know, in my stories and, you know, in my pieces. And, you know, also just to throw this out there, there's, you know, Brockton's, you know, many places is beautiful. I mean, right here, this is Center Street, leading to Brockton Hospital, my old stomping ground. You know, it was sunset outside. I just had to take a picture of it. And that's a close-up of sunset, and you know, I just closed up on a tree, and so yeah, that's why I would say Brockton had a huge influence on diversity,
Yep.
and you know, try to put it in my work.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Danniel. That's all I had to ask. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to Ed Bray. He's friends with Ann. I forget Ann's name. I hope she doesn't hurt me. But when I was trying to get back into artwork in 2017, I saw his business card in an art store that I don't think is open anymore. But what I did was I called him, and you know, we talked a little bit and stuff. He was giving me some advice about artwork, and I didn't see him for like 2-3 years. Then, just out of the blue, this rehab that he works at, because he told me he was an EMT, he was having difficulty supporting himself with art. So I saw him there. I didn't even know who he was. He didn't know who I was. You know, we were talking, and I don't know how we got on the subject, but he said, "Are you Danniel?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "You're Ed?" I was like, "Yeah, no way." It's like, I can't believe we just bumped into each other. So what he said was, "Yeah, you know what? I know some people that, you know, they're into Iron Brockton, trying to get people connections and stuff. So I'm gonna talk to Ann, you know, have her give you a call." She gave me a call, and you know, here I am.
Here you are.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give him a shout out.
Of course, I'm glad that you ran into him because now you're here. You got to display your artwork, and this is amazing. So thank you so much.
Praise God.
Thank you, Danniel. Thank you.
You're welcome.